Hello. Flowers inside clear balloons with lights, decorations, things, proving to be extremely popular. Also proving to be quite tricky in certain ways, so I thought it might be an opportunity to show you my way of putting them together. I'm not saying it's the right way, but it's a way that I've found to be quite simple, so I thought I'd talk you through it. I'm going to be using the Anagram Crystal Clearz Petites because they are the ideal size for this. The bigger ones are a little bit too large, but the Petites, perfect size for what we need. And I'm going to put some silk roses inside it. Can you do it with fresh flowers as well? You just need to be a little more careful. Lights, petals, bows, get everything ready first, because once you start, it's easier if you've got everything prepared. I'm going to wrap it with cellophane and tissue paper at the end, so again I'm getting that prepared, and this can be quite tricky to get the cellophane and tissue sitting straight, so I'll just show you how I like to do it. You can do it with cellophane or tissue or a combination of both, or anything you like really, but I'm going to use the two together, and I'm going to put my square of cellophane down, and then I'm going to put the tissue paper on top of it, but at a slight angle, and then fold it in half diagonally. That way you'll get a nice set of points all the way round, and this is where you will wrap it onto the stem of the completed design at the end. So if you get 3 or 4 of those prepared in advance, then that will help you later on. By using the cellophane and tissue together, the cellophane protects the tissue paper and stops it creasing too much, because one of the worst things is overworking your tissue and getting it all confused and scrunched up. So first thing to do is to take your Clearz Petite and inflate it to get the valve out. So also stretch it a little bit, which helps you get the flower inside afterwards. So a little bit of inflation here. Going to inflate it to the size that I ultimately want it to be, and then just let it sit for a moment. Then now is the time really to prepare everything that you need. You're also going to need a sheet of printer paper, because that's what's going to help you get your flowers into the balloon. And you're also going to need a modelling balloon, because one of the worst things, the hardest things, is to stop the air leaking out of the crystal. And if you cover the stem of your flowers with a modelling balloon, then it will give something for the Crystal Clearz to grip onto, and we use the closed end of the balloon so that no air can escape back down. So put that onto the stem of your flowers. If you choose a colour that matches, then obviously it's going to be much less visible. Put it fully on, right the way up to the base of the flowers, like so. Now remove the valve from the balloon. There is a video, a more detailed video in the resources section on the Amscan UK website that shows you how to do that in more detail. And then use your balloon stretchers to open the neck of the balloon. I'm just peeling off this label here because it does have a tendency to get in the way, except that I can't get this one off. Never mind, I'll leave it on in this case. I simply can't remove it. Now, you're going to wrap the flowers in the paper, but use the least amount of paper you can, because you're going to have to remove it from the balloon afterwards, and if it's a full sheet, you may find it a little tricky. Take your flowers and wrap them as tightly as you can in your paper, roll them really, really tight. Now obviously if this is a fresh flower, you're not going to be able to be as tough with it as this. Just take appropriate care, and then open up the neck of your balloon with your stretchers, push them right into the body of the balloon so that you're opening the thing to its fullest extent, like so, and then carefully push your rolled up flowers in through the opening, all the way inside. There you go. Push the flower into the balloon and then pull the paper out. That way you can get quite large flowers into the balloon with relative ease. I'm going to add some loose petals as well, so we'll just take some from this pack here. Just open it up. So a few loose rose petals just to add a little bit of extra, and they go into the balloon as well. Okay, now remove your stretchers and straighten the neck, and then hold it just below there's the top of the 260, and I'm just holding it there, so that's where we will wrap it on to the stem. Inflate your balloon. Twist it around a couple of times, and then use the other half of your modelling balloon to tightly wrap, so that we get a good seal between the Crystal Clearz and the modelling balloon that is covering the stem. Oops, tie that off. There we go, that's fine. Cut off any you don't need. Now we're going to add the lights. So I'm going to start from the battery pack end and just wrap it around. Now how you put the lights on is entirely up to you. I actually quite like if they just go round in the same place each time, rather than segmenting the balloon. I just go over and over and over again in the same place. You get a single row of lights. Hold the battery pack nice and closely up against the base, wrap it around a couple of times, and then around the balloon I'll cover up the seam like that. Around once more and back the other way, and then around again and round until you've used all of your lights, and then you can just twist them into place. Now we add the tissue paper. So we're going to pick up the tissue in the middle, lay it against the base of the balloon, and then just gather it a little, not too much, and that will keep it sitting against the balloon like that. And you can add as many or as few of these as suits. So 2 minimum, I think, probably, but you can use 3 or 4 depending on the fullness that you want to achieve. Hold them all nice and firmly at the base of the balloon like so. Tug it into place, and then use another bit of modelling balloon to tie tightly around to secure it all. Tie it off. Okay, now we've got a slightly ugly stem here, so that would be nice if it was covered in some way, and the battery pack as well. So I've got a little scrap of gold organza that I'm literally going to cover that with, like so, and that just disguises the whole thing and holds it in place with yet another piece of 260. And what you find is that the tissue paper and the cellophane keep the balloon and the flower standing up straight however you want it to be, and finish it off with a nice big gold organza bow. And basically that's it. You can dress them up in many different ways, to all different levels, for all different values, but they really are quite elegant and a very, very popular gift, not just for Valentine's Day. Change the colours of your flowers, add a few little extra accessories here and there, and they can be for any occasion at all. Because the clear petites come in different colours, it gives you even more scope. So I've used the blue one here with a blue organza bow, some little plastic pacifiers, cellophane, and a white flower for a baby. Pink one, this one could be for a birthday of any kind, or Mother's Day, or any occasion like that. I've put some nice rose gold tissue paper and using the dark pink Crystal Clearz for that. And then this one all in white, which would make a great wedding or communion or confirmation gift.